Gold mining may look very careful and serious, but even the most skilled miners make mistakes from time to time. Miners have had their fair share of ups and downs, from small mistakes that are easy to miss to big ones that cost a lot of money and make team members angry. Come with us as we look into the most stupid parts of the gold rush, putting the million-dollar dredge down. The dredge owned by Tony Beets sank for the second time in 6 weeks. He was told to go down and check on the dredge, even though it was his day off. What Tony saw when he got there could have been better. That machine held a lot of money, and it was just sitting there. It wasn't a happy moment. It looked like the team knew how bad things were, but they didn't know where to begin. The issue had to be fixed, but it was extra hard because the machine had to work by the time Tony got back. They were working on the pontoons to get rid of the water and get the dredge to float again. They thought something was broken. The pontoons quickly filled with water. Knowing how bad things were getting, one of the team members just turned around and signed, saying that Tony and Kevin would not be happy with this. When they tried to fix things quickly, there was too much water in the pontoons, so they just tried to lighten the load to get rid of the weight. They were sure that the boss would not be happy with them because the company loses about $1,000 an hour when the digger is not working. In the end, that's a lot of cash. They set up 6 pumps to drain the water to fix the problem with the pump that was sinking, but they knew they were losing. They didn't even believe the pumps could do the job. Mike really helped them out by getting a strong pump that could move 3,000 liters of water per minute. After fixing the pump, they left it to do its job. They remembered that $1,000 went by every hour. They had been pumping for water for 12 hours and spent $12,000 on it. They finally pumped the water out of the pontoons. They needed to figure out why the digger sank in the first place. When Roger Redball looked at the dredge and saw that the doors were open, it was a big surprise. The team had been working on their own problems and trying to get through the cut. They realized that this wasn't a natural or technical failure, but rather an error made by a person. Because the doors were open, sand and water could get into the pontoons and cause the dredge to sink. The whole thing was their fault. When Tony and Kevin got back from the sale, they did what they were supposed to do and asked what happened. The mine boss still wanted to know why the doors were left open, even after he knew what had happened. It turned out that the night shift team was to blame. They weren't looking at the digger. Now that the pontoons were fixed, Tony didn't want to point the finger at anyone. He just wanted to turn the dredge around and use it again. Again, the groundwater and water from the holding pond made the dredge float. They were getting ready for the next step. She and her team showed that they were ready, and they asked Mike right away how to move the dredge. Kevin told them to work quickly so Jason wouldn't be able to start digging in the new area. The dredge was going to be turned 90 degrees, which would make the tailings line swing over the road. Careful steps were needed for this. They looked and saw that the back end was pretty close to the shore. With a very important moment coming up, the team knew they had to make some tricky moves to get the dredge through a tough spot. They were hoping that they would be able to make the turn. Even though there might be some problems, they were happy and glad when the dredge was finally in the right place because everything went as planned. When the turn went well, the team took a look at what had happened and was happy with how things turned out. Now that the dredge was ready to start getting gold again, they were excited about the chance to get some prizes. The bucket's noise showed that things were going well, and everyone on the team was feeling good and hopeful about what they were doing. The night shift crew did something really stupid that almost damaged Tony's dredge. But what a new driver did to a truck was even worse. The whole truck was almost destroyed, almost making an engine burst. After 11 weeks of digging, Tony had brought in more than 1,000 ounces of gold, but he wasn't completely happy. There had to be more made. In 2 of his cuts, the 8-acre blue cut and the 9-acre cold cut, he was trying to catch Paradise Hill's sought-after white Chanel pay run. But the weather had been bad for him for the past 6 weeks. He was back in the cold cut, where there was still a lot of money to be made. To make up for the time he lost, Tony planned to sluice day and night for the first time this season to double his output. 3 new drivers were brought in to help the team because there was a lot of work to be done. The 3 guys were way too excited about the season. They thought it was great to be over there trying to work off the ladder and hoping to work in the yard and see some real good. It was better than seeing them with fancy jewelry on. They had to show Tony they had the right skills before they could work the night job. The boss had a lot of faith in them. He told them that if they were smart and wanted to learn, they could learn anything about welding or motors. They could find a way through life if they knew which way to go. The rookies were to be trained by Megan Gondet, who had worked for Parker before going back to work for Tony the previous year. Thomas was one of the newbies, and she told him not to do anything crazy, but to focus on being more productive. But Thomas had done a really stupid thing. It was back at the yard that lead mechanic Kevin Beat noticed something wasn't right. He was working on the trucks that were needed for the Paradise Hills Blitz. Where was the fourth truck? It turned out that Thomas was in charge. The trouble was that truck number 4 was broken, too hot, and couldn't be used. Kevin marked cars that needed repairs before they could be used with lockout tags. What a stupid thing Thomas did. He didn't care about the tag, and it wasn't even signed. Thomas made a big mistake for a first-timer. It was a big deal to take a truck with a lockout tag on it. Thomas was putting the engine at risk, and Tony now knew about it. Thomas had a good chance of getting sent off, but it didn't happen. He was told by his boss to get back in a truck. He gave the new driver another chance, but this time in a truck that was in good shape and had been signed out. The newbies were full again. More trucks were better. We saw Tony having trouble with water and his dredge, but he wasn't the only one who had trouble with water because of a mistake. Parker has his fair share of water issues. In his case, he almost lost all of his wolf cut pay, a mining site that is now underwater. Parker was looking for a pay streak in the 4-acre wolf cut on the far side of his Alaskan claim. He hoped that it would bring him at least 1,000 ounces this season. The group was trying to get to pay dirt 30 feet below, but they had to dig out 1,000 yards of extra material. 4 more feet would bring them to the water, and then it would be 30 feet to the rocks. But it looked like it was cooler than it really was. It would be very hard for them because they were working next to a pond. Frozen mud was the best option because it kept the water out. Recruit John Baudry was told to deal with the mud and keep the water out, but it looked like the cut was pretty wet. They called their boss to stop things before they got worse. It turned out that the mud got worse as they opened up more places. They still hadn't cut out even a fifth of the hole. There is an old pond next to the wolf cut. There was only a small berm between them. They dug down and found frozen ice that stopped the water from getting in. Now, it let water from the pond seep through the berm and fill the cut. Soon there will be a lot of water in the area. There was a need for action to save the day. They thought getting a pump would be the best thing for them to do. Parker's plan to stop the water was to dig a pond into the ground at the cut's deepest point and put in an 8-inch pump to clear it. After setting it up, they had to wait until the next day. You might be wondering what went wrong with the plan now. The plan as a whole was good and seemed to work, but how could you choose a pump to drain that much water without first making sure it works and fixing any problems it might have? The next day, everyone on the team went for a hike to check out their nice, dry wolf cut, but they were about to get a big shock. Where did their pump go? It looked like the pump was gone, and instead of a cutting that was completely dry, they found a lake. The pump system had broken down, filling the cut and putting the pump 4 feet below the water level. $500,000 were about to slip through their hands. The pump was so deep that they couldn't even walk up to it. Tyson had to pull a small kayak out with a chain in the excavator to get the pump to dry ground where they could work on it. The question was why they didn't work on it the day before and save time and money. Mark Fors, the foreman, said that the debris was blocking the suction filter at the end of the hose, which caused the water level to rise and cover the whole pump. He had to disassemble and repair the engine and come up with a plan to protect the pump from more flooding. This could have been done the day before, which would have saved them the whole night. His wolf almost got cut by this mistake, but Parker also did something shockingly stupid, and he almost had to say goodbye to Big Red. Parker's horrible mistake. Parker had finally realized a lifelong dream by digging his own Klondike claim. But with only a year left on the water lease, he only had one session to find all the gold on the huge 115-acre property. It only took him a little over 8 years to grow his Alaskan business from 2 people to 17 people and millions of dollars in sales. Dean, his foreman, quit, so he had to do some things as a foreman to get the company going. He was now in charge of everything as the manager. It made sense for him to do it because he knew more about the process than anyone else on his crew. The Chester Cut was being mined by his team. His mechanic, Mitch, was taking care of the big machinery, fixing the trucks, and getting them ready for work. Bree Harrison, who was operating the loader, was moving gold-rich pay dirt through Big Red and getting rid of the useless process rocks and dirt. Brennan Ruock put the dirt that Bree was going to use through the wash plant. There was no standing foreman to be seen during any of this. Everyone was working on their own jobs. He still hadn't shown up to tell the team what to do that day. They were already weeks behind schedule. Things would go a lot better if Parker showed up and stayed there the whole time. Parker showed up in the end and helped the team out a bit. The fact that Bree was running the whole business by herself made her look stressed. Because of this, Parker chose to get into the fuel truck and help get things fueled so that she could keep going. But Parker made a huge mistake at that point. One I won't forget quickly. He promised to help Bree, but instead he got sidetracked and looked for any gold that might still be in the places that had just been dug up. He had always wanted to do more panning on the floor that the guys who were pulling the pay had left behind, because he wouldn't stand for anyone being left behind. As the standing manager, he had to be there at the start and end of every shift to go over the days and nights' plans. He was in charge of sluicing and cleaning and had to plan how the plant would move next. There were 2 times a day when he had to make sure everything had fuel. It was a lot to handle. However, he didn't do these things. Instead, he went off to look for extra gold when his team really needed him. There are results to everything you do, and the mistake had its results. The whole plant shut down. The pump wasn't putting out any water, so Big Red's pre-wash was full of dirt. It was too dangerous to keep going because the pre-wash was about to boil over. Bree had to stop everything before it got worse. The harm might not be fixable. Why wasn't there any water? Not enough power. Yes, Parker said he would feed everything, but he didn't. Big Red was now down. It would have saved a lot of time and money to do something so easy. He messed that up, though. About $2,000 worth of gold is left in the ground every hour that Big Red is down. To be fair, it had been a long time since he had to deal with operations maintenance. There have been mistakes made by miners, which has cost their bosses money and property damage. Parker's team made a big mistake that cost him a lot of money. Big fuck up. Mitch and Brennan had a hard time moving Big Red a week ago, but they made a mistake that cost Parker a lot of money. Now, Aaron had to make sure that Slucifer didn't die the same way, which would have cost Parker more money. The team had recently seen a lot of rain, which was very scary because getting paid while wet wasn't fun at all. It always made things worse. In the beginning, Aaron worked for Parker as a truck driver. Since then, he has shown that he is good at driving a loader and is now in charge of Parker's most productive wash plant. He was by himself with the wash plant that day and did something very stupid. He made a big mistake because he had already done that stupid thing. He was thinking about how lucky he was to have the job when he dropped some wet pay on the conveyor belt, which was a big problem. It had already been a month late for Parker on the Indian River, and now the wash plant was full. Aaron ran back as fast as he could to turn it off, but he wasn't quick enough. He put wet pay into the hopper, which then slid down the smooth running belt, clogged the roller, and stopped the conveyor. He needs to finish letting go of it soon so that the plant can be moved. The shutdown took time, and each hour cost more than $5,000. Aaron and JM finally got rid of all the wet pay on the rollers. Now the plant should fire up and start working again. The truth, though, is much worse. The plant wouldn't come to life. They heard a strange beeping sound instead, which they didn't understand. Aaron knew, though, that the plant would be down for longer than they thought. That meant more money was lost. He chose to talk to his boss about it and see what he could do. Porter, on the other hand, was very busy and needed more time. Instead, he told him to go find Shane. Aaron hoped that Shane could fix the plant with one magic touch, but when Aaron got there, Shane found something that Aaron didn't expect. The belt was not attached to the motor, so it was broken. What a problem that was. It was impossible to turn the belt because the heavy wet pay had broken it. Aaron couldn't stop letting his stupid mistake bother him. They worked on the plant for 2 hours, and Shane fixed the broken belt during that time. Even though the plant finally got back up and running, the damage was already done. It was already late, and Aaron's stupid mistake cost Parker important time. Say what you think about these shocking mistakes these skilled workers made. Tell us in the group. The Beats family faces a race against time as they try to extract dirt from the frozen mining cut. But as the temperature rises, so do their challenges. Would they be able to fix their problems in time for the day's mine, or would they go back home disappointed? Stay tuned to find out. In the heart of the operation, Kevin Beats finds himself battling a mechanical breakdown in one of the trucks. With the fleet frozen, their efficiency takes a hit, and the pressure is on. He complains sadly about the amount of time they have wasted and how important it is for the continuity of their show that the trucks get back on track. He says that if they don't fix the truck as soon as they can, they will be seriously behind their schedule. Meanwhile, the relentless Ruby Mahoney is digging deep, uncovering signs of gold in the soil. The promise of hitting the fabled white channel page keeps the team motivated, but challenges persist. Back at the truck, Kevin faces another breakdown, putting operations on hold. The radio crackles with urgency as the team scrambles to fix the issues and keep the tight schedule intact. Again, Kevin complains about how hard it is coping with the excesses of the rock, breaking down from time to time without any signs. He emphasizes the need for the trucks to be back in action ASAP. The mining team, despite setbacks, presses on with determination. Tony BC takes charge, strategizing to salvage the situation and keep the mining operation on track. Like Kevin, Tony sees how important it is for them to avoid any more setbacks. Time is of the essence if they want to make the quota for the day. He rallied the team, and soon enough, the machines began to work and they began to set the ball rolling. Over at the wash plant, Fred Lewis seeks guidance from Parker. Equipment issues threaten to compromise Fred's gold production target for the season. Fred and Parker talk about the issues they have with their equipment and the urgent need for a solution. Because if they don't find a remedy to this problem, they may not be able to continue with the series. Fred makes the tough call to shut down the wash plant, creating doubt about the viability of reaching the season's gold target. The team, however, remains determined. Just when the morale of the workers seem to have been given a little push, another problem strikes. Dave encounters difficulties with a jammed tail pulley, causing another setback. The team works tirelessly to resolve the issue and resume operations. Amidst the challenges, a potential gold discovery in a broken rock renews hope for Dave's team. Despite setbacks, the miners remain committed to overcoming obstacles for a successful season. Dave's confidence, and that of the other miners, is renewed by the discovery, despite the hiccups they encountered. He is sure that they will strike gold more than they have ever struck before. In a bold move, Fred Lewis decides to tackle the frozen creek obstructing their mining claim. Facing an icy barrier, the team orchestrates a plan involving a massive pump to melt the ice. The risky operation requires careful navigation, and Fred, tethered to a safety rope, takes the plunge into the unknown. The team successfully activates the pump, spraying a powerful stream of water onto the frozen creek. As the water penetrates the ice, Fred cautiously makes his way across, ensuring the safety of the crew. While the ice slowly yields to the relentless force of the water, concerns arise among the crew. The unpredictability of the situation and the potential risks weigh heavily on their minds. Instead of getting worried and worked up, the crew members enjoy the rush, excitement, and anxiety of the whole season. Their utmost hope, however, is that everything goes according to plan. After hours of vigorously battling the frozen barrier, the team's perseverance pays off. The pump successfully carves a path through the ice, allowing them access to the vital equipment on the other side. With the creek conquered, Fred's team regains access to crucial equipment, and mining operations resume. The victory over the icy challenge injects a renewed sense of determination into the crew as they push forward, undeterred by the harsh Alaskan conditions. As the crew returns to mining operations, they encounter a series of challenges that put their skills and machinery to the test. Faulty equipment and unexpected shutdowns become a recurring theme, threatening the efficiency of the entire operation. The pressure is on as they strive to extract as much gold as possible within a limited time frame. Amidst the chaos, expert operator Ruby Mahoney emerges as a key player. With tenacity and determination, she tirelessly operates the machinery, digging deeper into the cold soil in pursuit of the elusive gold. Ruby's expertise becomes a beacon of hope, providing the team with a glimmer of success in the challenging conditions. Meanwhile, Tony's son Mike leads the charge in a massive effort to strip 700,000 tons of dirt from the cold coat. The goal is to hit Paradise Hill's fabled White Channel Pay within a week. A breakthrough moment occurs as they discover what appears to be the distinctive iron-stained yellow soil, a potential indicator of gold-rich ground. The urgency escalates as unexpected setbacks plague the operation. Kevin, Tony's chief mechanic, faces the challenge of keeping the fleet of rock trucks in working order. With multiple breakdowns and a critical shortage of essential parts, the team is forced to make crucial decisions on the fly, further intensifying the race against time. With the clock ticking, Mike beats strategies to maximize the extraction of dirt from the cold coat. The ambitious goal of hitting Paradise Hill's White Channel Pay within a week requires a relentless pursuit of efficiency. The Beats family invests everything they have, mobilizing their resources to ensure the success of this high-stakes endeavor. The pressure intensifies as Tony's chief mechanic, Kevin Beats, faces a mechanical nightmare. The rock trucks, essential for hauling dirt, face constant breakdowns, each one threatening to derail the entire operation. Kevin's mechanical prowess is put to the ultimate test as he battles missing bolts, broken parts, and a relentless race against time. The turning point arrives as expert operator Ruby Mahoney uncovers signs of gold in the cold coat. The distinctive yellow soil, coupled with rounded riverbed rocks, suggests the presence of gold-rich ground. The discovery ignites a spark of hope, fueling the team's determination to persist in their quest for the legendary White Channel pay. Meanwhile, mine boss Fred Lewis faces a critical decision. Despite dealing with faulty equipment, Fred remains committed to mining the challenging terrain. However, the gold yields fall significantly short of the targeted 60 ounces per week. Faced with financial challenges and an uncertain future, Fred contemplates the viability of continuing the operation. In a surprising turn of events, Parker Schnabel, a seasoned gold miner, offers his insights to Fred Lewis. Parker, passing by the Lewis mining site on his way to his Alaskan claims, provides valuable advice on the challenges Fred's operation is facing. The encounter sparks a moment of reflection for Fred as he grapples with the complexities of the Alaskan gold mining season. As Kevin Beats battles the mechanical challenges, the urgency to overhaul the rock trucks intensifies. With several bolts missing and crucial components breaking down, the fleet faces a major setback. Kevin, along with the team, engages in a marathon of repairs, welding, and replacements, determined to bring the trucks back into operational condition. Mike Beats takes a calculated risk by leaving the critical mining site to fetch additional trucks from the Indian. Betting on a swift return, Mike leaves the operation in the hands of the remaining crew members. The decision is a high-stakes gamble, hoping that the gain in truck numbers will outweigh the potential loss in operational momentum during his absence. Tony Beats faces a managerial dilemma as the mining operation grapples with unexpected breakdowns and delays. With a third of the rock trucks out of action due to mechanical issues, Tony contemplates alternative plans. The need to balance immediate solutions with long-term strategies puts Tony in a tight spot, testing his leadership in the face of adversity. Expert operator Ruby Mahoney becomes the unsung hero as she embarks on a relentless digging marathon. Working day and night, Ruby pushes the machinery to its limits, determined to reach the fabled White Channel pay. Her unwavering commitment sets the tone for the entire team, instilling a sense of hope and determination amidst the challenging conditions. Fred Lewis finds himself at a crossroads as the challenges mount. With only 118 ounces of gold, well short of the targeted 500 ounces for the season, Fred contemplates the harsh reality. The race against time becomes more pressing as winter looms, adding a layer of complexity to the already challenging decision-making process. The unforgiving Alaskan wilderness continues to throw curveballs at the miners, from mechanical breakdowns to managerial dilemmas and the relentless pursuit of gold. The unpredictable nature of the terrain tests the resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination of each team member. As they navigate through the twists and turns, the outcome remains uncertain, making every decision a critical turning point in the quest for Alaskan gold. The mining drama continues, with each twist and turn testing the miners' resilience and determination. Will their collective efforts lead them to the golden bounty they seek, or will the challenges prove insurmountable? Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter of Gold Rush: Trials of the Thaw. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this roller coaster journey through the Alaskan wilderness.
Prepare to embark on an extraordinary adventure as we delve deep into the heart of Parker's gold mining expedition, where fortune meets hard work in a season like no other. In a riveting twist of fate, Parker Schnabel, the mining prodigy, has unearthed an astonishing $14 million worth of shimmering gold during this remarkable season. In spite of the many difficulties and disappointments he encounters, Parker ultimately achieves a significant deal of accomplishment. He takes a chance by putting his most advanced washing facility on very fertile land, which results in complications brought on by an abundance of water. Despite this, Parker is able to find a solution to the problem and continues his search for gold. Mitch had to leave the crew in order to safeguard his family from the neighboring wildfires, which presents the group with yet another challenge with 5 weeks left in the season. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast, rugged terrain, with the sun setting behind the horizon, casting a golden hue over the landscape. The clinking of shovels against rock, the rumbling of heavy machinery, and the anticipation in the air create an atmosphere charged with excitement and anticipation. Parker, armed with unwavering determination and a heart full of dreams, has once again pushed the boundaries of what's possible in the world of gold mining. Step into a world where dreams are as precious as the metal they seek, and where the stakes have never been higher. This is a season that will leave you breathless and in awe of the incredible journey that is Parker's record-breaking $14 million gold rush. Brennan assumes leadership and is immediately put under pressure to locate the treasure. They continue their mining operations despite the tensions and disappointments that they are experiencing. Parker, having realized the significance of adhering to the fundamentals, apologizes to Brennan and reiterates that their primary objective is to earn sufficient funds to purchase new land for the following season. A stunning 7,504.9 ounces of gold with a value of close to $14 million are mined by Parker's workers at the conclusion of the season, shattering their previous record for the amount of gold extracted. Celebration and happiness follow the success of the endeavor. Parker is extremely ecstatic about the recent decline in the price of petrol, as well as the rise in the price of gold. This comes at a time when he is getting ready to buy a piece of land in Alaska. Earning money is essential for him in order to save up for the next purchase he intends to make. He takes a risk by operating his most advanced washing plant on the most mineral-rich ground they have ever mined. But the large amount of water offers a risk that the plant would collapse into the pond if it is not handled properly. He takes a risk by operating his most advanced washing plant on the most mineral-rich ground they have ever mined. He was successful in finding a solution to the problem, and he is now eagerly anticipating the prospect of finding gold under the ground. Despite the fact that there are just 5 weeks left in the season, his staff still has a significant amount of work that they need to complete. They are struck a blow, however, when Mitch discovers that there are wildfires in the region close to his property and makes the decision to remove his family in order to protect them from the danger. Brennan is now in charge and must continue to search for the treasure despite the increased amount of stress. His explosive temper is caused by his frustration with the bad job that was done, as well as the obligation to walk the floors. In spite of the challenges, they are pushing forward with the mining operations, and emphasizes how important it is to ensure that their work is consistent with the basics at all times. Before the onset of winter, Parker is going to require Brendan's assistance in clearing the runway of any mine debris. They plan to earn a profit that is sufficient to enable them to purchase additional acreage in time for the following growing season. In the penultimate segment of the current season, Parker's crew is successful in extracting a total of 7,504.9 troy ounces of gold, which, based on the high prices of gold in the year 2020, has a worth of around $14 million. The group now holds the new record thanks to this accomplishment. To celebrate the accomplishment, cheers and laughing are used throughout the entire process. As the reserves that Parker Schnabel and his crew have begun to deplete, they are faced with the challenge of locating new mining land. They have plans to mine a new part of land that is 60 feet deep, and the quantity of gold that they are looking for is 8,000 troy ounces. Parker is well aware that the absence of Brennan throughout this season would make things more complicated than usual. But despite this, they are determined to make it work nevertheless. However, the first pans of muck that they dig out from Muck Mountain only bring up a few flakes of gold here and there. This is a really disappointing turn of events. In spite of this setback, Parker makes the decision to proceed, putting his faith in the results of the drilling and thinking that the material will yield better results after it is processed through the wash facility. He does this because he is confident that the results will improve. The fact that Parker Schnabel is rapidly exhausting his supplies gives him with the challenge of scouting out new mining terrain, which he must do in order to continue his mining operations. He organizes a meeting of his workers in order to discuss the approach that will be employed for the forthcoming season, which will require mining a new part of ground that is 60 feet deep. In the meeting, they discuss the strategy that will be used. They believe that there could be 8,000 ounces of gold at the bottom, but they are aware that it will be a difficult endeavor that requires a different method than what they have used in the past. Despite this, they continue to maintain their optimistic estimate. Parker is aware that it won't be simple because Brennan won't be around this season, but he and the other members of the squad are determined to make it work, regardless of the challenges that they will face. As they move forward with the process of excavating the new ground, they run across obstacles here and there. Gold Rush is a hugely successful reality show that airs on Discovery Channel and features Parker Schnabel as the show's primary protagonist. The show focuses on the activities and endeavors of gold miners and diggers in the state of Alaska. Because of his consistent display of talent, Parker is an essential member of both the cast and the staff of the show. The show is his primary source of income, However, he also works at the Big Nugget Mine, which was built by his grandfather, John Schnabel. During the 4th season, he put some of his money toward his education in preparation for starting his own mining business in the future. He was just declaring that he had a bright future in the business when he managed to unearth 1,029 ounces of gold in Klondike. This is proof that he has a bright future in the industry. Subscribed yet? Do so now for more thrilling updates on Gold Rush. The first few pans of mud from Mud Mountain turn out to be unproductive for Parker and his crew, as they only produce a few flakes of gold. Parker is concerned about the amount of time and resources that have already been committed in the project up to this point. In spite of the obstacle, he makes the decision to carry on and put his faith in the results of their drilling. They have high hopes that the material, after being processed by the wash facility, would produce more desirable results. As we wrap up this glittering chapter of Parker's journey, we're left with a heart full of awe and inspiration. The tale of mining, perseverance, and dreams fulfilled is one that will resonate for years to come. As the gold dust settles and the sun sets on this remarkable season, remember that the spirit of adventure and determination lives on. Join us next time for even more thrilling exploits, as Parker continues to chase his dreams and break new records. Until then, keep the spirit of discovery alive and let Parker's monumental achievement remind you that with passion and unwavering dedication, you too can unearth your own golden dreams. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey, and stay tuned for more epic adventures with Parker Schnabel.
About 2 years ago, Parker Schnabel decided to take a big risk on a promise he made to himself. A $15 million one in Dominion Creek. This is in the endless wilderness of Klondike, where people's fortunes can make or break in an instant with a single shovel's turn. For this particular bet, something extremely important was at risk, and the auxiliary dangers were even greater. I'm going to say that the tough ground of the Klondike was waiting for a brave young miner. Let's begin the story. The story starts at a tough place called the Money Pit, which was much bigger than their earlier tasks on the Indian River. The job was hard, the problems were big, and the costs had gone up so much more than before. Parker, with his big ideas, was moving at full speed because he wanted to win. This situation was going to cost him a lot of money. There was a high chance it might make him a real Klondike king. On the other hand, it might also cause him to think about his losses. I think that's quite a gamble. The pressure was noticeable. Parker's projects were at risk then because a big debt had come during prosperity. Going from having a full bank account to facing the worries of mining makes it clear how close success is in a hard place like the Klondike. The worry about running out of money troubles everyone involved. I don't think I could stomach such a risk. Parker Schnabel's brave decision to buy the Dominion Creek claim was like a big gamble with nature. It's exciting and risky at the same time. It's a high-stakes game. The $15 million is just a small bit of money, and as spring comes along, it becomes very high spending. It's a race against time and money, and Parker realized that time was running out. He had to finish it fast if he wanted to achieve his goal. The Dominion Creek claim was expected to be a large gold deposit, maybe giving 80,000 gold ounces or even more. That could be over $160 million in wealth. The big money was a strong magnet that made Parker want to get into the very core of the bet. But, they say, having big rewards also means facing even bigger dangers. I think he's quite courageous and we should be inspired by his risk-taking. By the 3rd week of the season, Parker had a big turning point to deal with. The price of reducing this pay point was very high. It was like spending too much money that could break his goals. Thousands of dollars were going into the dirt, but no gold was coming out. This place was not making money for anyone. The challenges were daunting. A big step was reaching the bedrock, but melting was an even bigger challenge that they had to face. 1 foot a week for 10 weeks in all, the time was running down fast, and the money issues got worse. It got really infuriating as time passed because the amount of gold underground was not helpful when there were money problems. For Parker Schnabel, it was a big moment to succeed or fail. The Dominion Creek claim could be a source of gold, but it was also tough to manage money there. The hopes for a big empire in Klondike were in danger, while the worries about money problems kept growing. Parker's brave effort may turn out to be the next winning story in Klondike territory, but it might also end up being a warning about money lost in the rough place outside. The future of Parker's big $15 million bet in the center of Dominion Creek won't be known until later. I think he might make it. As time passed, Parker Schnabel had a big problem to solve. He thought the answer could be in the past, among the old things left by miners from the Klondike Gold Rush of 1896. These early explorers, with not-so-good digging tools, had left behind gold that could be worth a lot. This made it a possible treasure chest for Parker to check out. The plan was easy and well thought out. Parker wanted to get gold from the untouched waste near Gold Run Creek. His hope came from the idea that Gold Run Creek, famous for its gold during the gold rush, would bring in quick cash. The chance of finding gold in these leftover rocks was Parker's sign of hope, a way to earn money without doing a lot of hard work from mining. Parker decided to check if this plan worked by running a test of leftovers through a small tumbler. I believe testing is quite necessary before taking any large risks. Each pail of waste rocks meant the hope of locating gold that had been hidden for more than 10 years. As the action started, everyone could feel the energy. The buckets from old times were worked on with excitement. They moved fast through the small drum machine because they needed to find gold fast. The urgent task was to do so before a big money problem happened. Parker and his team added a little humor to the serious feeling. They talked about drinking and aging on a lighter note that made everyone feel like they were part of a team. The fun conversation made the already serious situation feel lighter. The last bit of the task was filled with guessing and easy bets. The gold in the waste was the best thing to get, and people thought it might be anywhere from 190 to 240 milligrams. When they measured the stuff, it felt heavy. Then the stress got really high and excitement was at its maximum. I myself am quite anxious to know the result. The discovery of 226 milligrams of gold was a source of comfort and happiness. Parker's bet on the old waste rock had been successful, even though it did not reach the perfect 300 milligrams. In the world of digging, beggars can't be picky, and the gold pulled out was a way to keep Parker's work alive. The whole deal happened like a big, important game, with Parker's business luck at risk. It was a sign that success can come by looking back on the past. As Parker Schnabel worked through the problems with the Dominion Creek claim, a question came up. Could these old tailings be the trick to changing his $15 million chance to a Klondike gold digger? The next step was to do sluicing, a key action in taking gold from the ground, but the outcomes were very far from being good. Parker needed to test a small amount that would give at least 155 milligrams of gold, but the result was much lower, only 54 milligrams. This left him disappointed. The anger was clear in Parker's voice. He thought it wasn't good. Talking about old beggy and the trouble it causes suggests there might be unwanted things involved in the method. The business is seen as very skinny, meaning it doesn't have enough money. This could really harm how much money the project makes. Parker admitted to the outcome being too thin, and then talked seriously with his group to plan a path. Tyson, at a hopeful time, wanted to be the first to take money home and pay bills. The idea of sitting on a pile of gold made people remember that Parker had a big job to make a lot of money and stop the coming money problems from the claim at Dominion Creek. To speed up the process of getting gold, Parker started a different job at Ken & Stewart's. You can feel the change of attention as the group is working hard on planning and digging to find the hidden gold. I really like his determination. The hurry was shown in Parker's order to move stones, search for the leprechaun, and get gold. That was a simple way, but also very understandable for describing how to do mining works. As Parker looked at the floor, he found more obstacles than he thought. When there is too much trash, it's easy to see and makes the timeline for sorting it out harder. It showed that there was probably 5 feet of garbage there. That makes the job more complicated. Parker knew his team needed to talk about the problem. This shows they were determined to work together and make sure the operation was fixed. It became very important for Parker to jump on the gold quickly. This is because the unexpected slowdown in his gold washing activities was causing an alarm. The time needed for getting money had been hugely overdrawn, and the chances of running out were coming close. The failure was a big risk to Parker's fast gold scheme and made everything about the project more dangerous. The problem got harder as Parker thought about the shortages in moving around resources. The team needed to keep going because they were the key to making money and helping the business, even if it didn't bring in quick cash. Parker was quite upset and said that he really thought they would have a plant up and running before this. But it was no good. It wasn't the best, and it could have been better if they had done that sooner. He believed they had better plans before. On the rough land of Dominion Creek, where every choice matters, Parker Schnabel had a big choice to make. In a place like this, everything has to be thought out carefully. The search for gold, which was once a good shot, was now full of problems that could change the direction of his wild plans. Will Parker beat these challenges and make his $15 million bet a big success like the Klondike discoveries? Or will the hard side of the gold rush take another rich man's money away? Time will tell if Parker's brave journey to Dominion Creek's center is a success or not.
Embarking on a journey beneath the rugged terrains and fierce determination of the Gold Rush series, we unveil the glittering treasures that have left us in awe. Join me as we delve into the remarkable world of Tony Beets, Parker Schnabel, and other fearless miners, and witness their most exhilarating gold finds that have defined the very essence of discovery and ambition. From heart-stopping moments deep within the earth to the euphoria of striking it rich, these are the extraordinary tales of gold that have captured both our imagination and the very spirit of the hunt. Tony Beets and Parker Schnabel's and other best gold finds on Gold Rush. They face trials and triumphs on the road to this Olympic gold. Tony spends more money on gear in order to have his most productive season ever, while Parker's staff strives to increase their gold output. Both are determined and confident in their ability to succeed financially despite setbacks like broken machinery and lengthy road construction. The search for gold in the ancient miners' tailings pays off for Tony, while Parker's home is threatened by flames. But they both strike gold and far exceed their season targets. Tony is still committed to producing 9,000 ounces next year, and Parker is excited about the prospect of acquiring additional mining land. Gold miners like Tony Beets and Parker Schnabel, among others, share their greatest gold finds and experiences with the research team on the popular reality show Gold Rush. The Winchester lads are under pressure to impress Tony Beets with the efficiency of their wash facility, and must act quickly to do so. The strut of the plant causes a minor problem, but in the end they are successful in setting it down on the pad. However, they find that a supporting leg necessitates rearranging the sluice boxes, prompting John to construct an addition. Despite the difficulties, they self-repair everything and are now prepared to run pay. Knowing that taking risks is integral to the mining industry, they eagerly await the first scoop of pay dirt. After 25 straight hours of equipment operation, Tony Beets' crew is hopeful that they have delivered gold and broken the curse. When the gold is weighed, they find that they have 6 ounces, which is worth almost $11,000. As a result of this achievement, they are more motivated than ever to keep digging for gold. At the same time, Parker Schnabel departs for Fairbanks, leaving foreman Mitch to set up 2 plants in 5 days. Mitch intends to optimize their gold extraction process by dragging the sluice fur onto a big area and installing the super stacker. The crew is frantically preparing the sluice to flow gold before Parker returns from Alaska. A 120-foot super stacker gets hooked up and arrives at the pre-wash. Parker's staff likes the arrangement after processing valuable ore in the wash plants. Parker updates the workforce on his operation before stripping and building a plant pad in Alaska. Parker may mine the entire 90-acre runway with both wash units. A conveyor fails and an engine blows. Even though Parker's other wash plant, Big Red, has been sluicing easy street cut pay all week, yielding over $290,000 in gold. The group is happy to have exceeded last year's ounce total and will keep working hard. Tony Beets and his team are under pressure to break records this season. Their shaker deck shuts down twice, infuriating them. The wash plant is hard to run since they can't discover a 2-foot section of damaged C-channel. Despite the challenges, they innovate by welding the C-channel back into place so the material may be processed. Now that they can process the tailings, they may hope to find fresh gold. Parker Schnabel is optimistic about the season's early start and generating enough gold to cover their bills. Monica and their granddaughter bring cheer as the Beets family evaluates the week's triumphs and setbacks. Gold Rush gurus like Tony Beets and Parker Schnabel discuss their best gold hauls. Tony said the old-timer tailings made almost $310,000 when run. Parker said they found $145,000 in gold in 2 days. This week, about $460,000 in gold was extracted, more than double the same amount last year. They are happy with the results and expect financial and gold success. Fred Lewis and Brandon Clayton share resources to improve output in another scene. They believe they can increase output and profits by working together. Fred and Brandon's plant feeding loader had a tire blowout, causing downtime that could exceed their quota. The tire was fixed, and they continued working quickly. Mitch decides to clean up after 2 days and is pleased to see gold in the riffles. Fred and Brandon's partnership will be tested before their first gold weigh with Sandra and Andrew from New York City. The future season should benefit from their 19 ounces of gold every game while running less yards. Fred's largest gold grab and the chance to raise production by 50% have thrilled Tony's beats and his employees. Tony's preparations were derailed by frozen ground and a big frost block blocking the conveyor belt, resulting in costly downtime and lost gold. Tony is unfazed and working hard with the 80 pup to get his season back on track and reach his gold goals. Tony and his staff had completed sweeping and scrubbing their mats and run. Tony strictly forbids his staff from walking on the mats. The Beats found $328,000 in gold despite downtime and lost gold, bringing their season total to over $2.3 million. Parker Schnabel is having problems bringing in 2,000 ounces of gold and worries he won't have enough to send his crew home. He must find the high-grade pay layer before winter, but he is 800 ounces short. Rick is surprised when Troy Taylor offers to sell the land to him for 150 ounces of gold. Rick should seriously consider the offer because he has spent a fortune on machinery and is struggling to make a profit. Rick recruits veteran ironworker Kyle Lawson to manage both wash facilities. Kyle manages the plant despite his fear. They are holding their breath hoping this clever strategy would work. They also made some remarkable gold discoveries on Gold Rush. Over $500,000 worth of gold, 219.8 ounces from Monster Red and 95 ounces from Rocky, were discovered by Tony Beats. As a result of Raleigh Valley's largest gold weigh ever, Parker Schnabel makes a significant financial commitment towards the purchase of more acreage. Mining tycoon Tony Beats is also in Kano attempting to break into uncharted territory. Test holes he digs show possible gold deposits. In general, these gold miners are engaged in some really promising work, and they have some very lofty objectives. Tony Beats and his staff are using a ball with a strainer to separate gold from soil in a new mining operation. They are pleased with the lengthy pump they utilize to speed up the procedure when they find fine gold. Tony is encouraged by this discovery and has discussed growing the firm with his family. Parker Schnabel is pleased with his gold weight, which beat last season's record. Parker will keep mining despite the season's challenges and make the best of it. Parker Schnabel and his colleagues seek to maximize their resources in Alaska to find better soil. Parker calls in his loyal right-hand man, Mitch, to help clear overburden and keep the process running smoothly as they rush to reach 700 ounces of gold. Parker moves as much as feasible with Mitch's help despite machine repairs and a labor shortage. As they overcome challenges, the crew's collaboration and determination shine through. Parker Schnabel and Tony Beats want gold. Parker's crew must collect 700 more ounces to move Big Red to Mud Mountain. After upgrading his gear, Tony is more driven than ever to have his best season. Tony struggles with equipment, while Parker relies on their road expansion to bring him there. Despite the obstacles, they remain driven and confident in their capacity to succeed and profit. He'll make up his gold ounce deficit and protect his off-season investment. Tony is under pressure to supply gold after the buyer for his fleet of barges dropped out at the last minute. This season was the Beats family's most successful for gold production, despite the loss. Tony still hopes to reach 9,000 pounds next year. He also investigates pioneer mining waste. There may be some gold left, and since gold and petrol costs are low, now is an excellent time to look. Tony invites the crew together to learn about the hill and mine's history. After finding a wooden sluice box, they realize that only half of the gold was collected this way. Tony wants to dig into the tailings and find themselves. A sample is tested with a trommel to confirm gold presence. It's free money, so they'll transfer it to New Zealand for processing. Later, he and his loved ones head to Paradise Hill to find out if the old-timers' tailings turned up any riches. Tony needs 177 ounces every week to reach his 3,000-ounce season target. Mega-cut pay dirt processed through Mike's trommel produced 4.22 ounces of gold, worth $7,400. They decide to keep operating the tailings facility after Tony's intuition proved correct. The Premier Wash facility is a high-stakes gamble for Parker Schnabel and his crew because he needs the money to acquire land in Alaska. They had trouble at first due to water leaking, but managed to get the plant stabilized. Before the season is out, they want to have found enough money to stock up on weapons and invest in new territory. When Parker Schnabel's house is threatened by flames, He must deal with a dire situation. He leaves the mining operation to return home and assist his evacuating wife. Now Brennan Rule and Colt Foreman must manage day-to-day business. However, conflicts emerge as Brennan strives to maintain order and discovers poor work from the team. Brennan and Parker make up following a fierce dispute. Despite the difficulties, Parker is resolved to finish the season strong and earn enough money to purchase further mining property. With a final tally of 7,504.9 ounces of gold, the team sets new benchmarks and surpasses their best season ever. Be sure to subscribe for more thrilling updates of treasure hunting. As we near the end of the season, Tony Beats has his own set of problems to solve. He has yet to reach his ideal weight and is out of fertile ground in the mega cut after 400 ounces. When Tony punches a hole in the wall, water rushes in and floods the final nook of the mega cut. Tony hopes to establish a new market known as the upper cut in order to save the rest of the season. However, the ground becomes a soupy mess after heavy rain, which presents challenges for Tony and his crew. Tony is unfazed by the obstacles in his way and insists on continuing his search for rich gold deposits. Another setback for the crew was the destruction of their rock truck. Despite this, they are able to get the problem resolved and go back to work in short order. Tony's time to earn 3,000 ounces of gold this season is quickly running out as winter approaches. After the last load of dirt has been processed by the plant, everyone congregates for the season's final gold weigh-in. They missed their target by a hair, but nevertheless managed to produce 3,030.26 ounces, worth almost $5.6 million. Tony has his sights set on next season, and he's positive that, with the right brakes and a water permit, they can increase their output. You won't believe what researchers just discovered. Click on the next video to find out more now.
Gold digging is known to be a good way to make money, but as miners get better and go deeper, they find things other than gold. Some of these things are as useless as metal bits, while others are as valuable as gold itself. Let's look into how Parker finds mammoth tusks while he's looking for cash. Parker Schnabel's strange find. Parker Schnabel is used to getting his hands dirty and getting down on the ground when he's looking for money. He began working at the family mine when he was a youngster in the first season. Beginning with the second season, the young man took over the family mines and has been one of the most famous gold miners ever since. Other mine bosses have a hard time, but Schnabel seems to have the Midas touch because his team gets thousands of ounces of gold every season, which is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. After 10 episodes on Gold Rush, Parker has saved up a dime wealth, which is thought to be around $10 million. He's not going to slow down anytime soon. However, the miner has found more than just gold in the fields. He told them about some other strange things he had seen on his trips. There is a lot of stuff buried here. There's a good chance that miners have found some strange things on their trips. Parker doesn't find gold, but he does find something that many archaeologists would love. In an interview with the Maelstrom, he talked about the strange thing he found while mining for gold and how it might be the most important thing he had that wasn't gold. It was interesting that he told them he had found a pair of well-preserved woolly mammoth teeth. These tusks are very well preserved because they are made of ivory and were buried in permafrost, which kept them safe from the cold weather. Some of them were found in perfect shape, even though woolly mammoths went extinct a very long time ago. Finding fossils of preserved bodies makes us think about what makes a thing. Alaska is a place where mammogram tusks are sometimes found. They have a lot of value and help an industry grow. Because these tusks are made of ivory, they can be very valuable if they are kept in good shape. In some cases, they can sell for more than $1 million each. Parker and his team on Gold Rush might not find anything more valuable than gold, but mammoth tusks are definitely among the most expensive things that have ever been found. To make a long story short, the mammoth tusks he found would be worth a lot of money, because people are willing to buy almost anything. But Schnabel says he won't sell the tusks, even though they are valuable and could be valuable. To sell those kinds of things, he would have to get a lot of different permits, which he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to kill the tusks, instead, he wants to keep them. He thinks they're really cool and that they shouldn't be sold. And no one can blame him. He already makes a lot of money from the gold he finds, so it makes sense for him to keep the strange things he finds along the way. Even more so when he can happily say that he owns well-preserved mammoth tusks. So, if you ever go to Parker Schnabel's house, don't be shocked if you find some huge mammoth teeth waiting for you. the huge tusks are the cherry on top of Parker's successful job choice. He doesn't seem like he's going to stop working anytime soon, so we can say that more finds are on the way. As of now, it looks like the search for an unusual prize on Gold Rush is far from over. A famous gold miner on the show found something truly amazing. Another strange find on Gold Rush. Tony Beats found something very important at his new spot in Paradise Hills. Instead of finding gold like most people do, he found a tusk that had a special meaning for this part of Alaska. While exploring the site, he saw the tusk sticking out of the ground. With the help of his son Mike and their tools, they were able to dig up the bone, which Mike at first thought was a jawbone. Tony chose to have paleontologists look at it more closely. The remains of a woolly mammoth that was found earlier may be related to the tusks that were found on Gold Rush, according to experts. Since the Klondike Gold Rush more than 100 years ago, miners have kept finding these kinds of bones. One of the best things about the Yukon area is that it is known for finding animals from the Ice Age. Others had heard that Tony had found the bones of horses and zebras before, but this one made people think of the woolly mammoth. Gold Rush says that the baby mammogram is at least 30,000 years old, and the ground and ice in the area are thought to have kept the animals alive during the Ice Age. During the Gold Rush, people saw more strange things than just elephant tusks. Miners have seen things besides the god they were looking for. Parker saw something that blew his mind in particular. Meeting the welcome stranger face to face. Parker Schnabel almost passed out when he saw a copy of Welcome Stranger. It is the biggest gold nugget that has ever been found. We saw that he was half a world away from the Klondike Gold Rush Trail in Season 4, Episode 2 called Installment of Gold Rush Parker's Trail. He was looking for new experiences and chances. At the start of the show, Parker and his partner Fred Lewis were greeted by Tyler Mahoney, a fourth-generation Australian gold prospector. She opened her truck door and put a 2-foot-long golden boulder across the back seat. A story says that the welcome stranger was so big that it had to be broken in 3 on a hammer so that it could fit on a bank scale. The nugget would be worth about $4.7 million if it were sold today at the rate at which Hold is sold. The original Welcome Stranger was turned into gold bars a long time ago, but 2 perfect copies are still around. 2 of them are on show in Melbourne's old Treasury building. One is owned by Deason's descendants and is kept there. The one that was taken from Mahoney's truck is thought to belong to the Deason family, and column built in 1897 still stands in Molliagle to mark the spot where the nugget was found. Parker and no other modern gold miner found it, so the question is, who made this huge find that even Parker couldn't believe it? The Victorian Gold Rush happened in the 1850s, when a lot of people with big dreams went to Victoria, Australia, to try to make money. They came from all over Australia and other places around the world. I felt very happy for a short time. Some people hit it big and were rich for life, but for most, they never got that rich. It was true for 2 Cornish miners on February 5, 1869. Luck did come their way. John Deason was born on Tresco in the Isles of Scilly. When he was 1 year old, his fishing father drowned, and the family moved to Pendeen in West Cornwall. In this place, he met Richard Oates, who would become his partner. In the 1851 census, both of them were working in the tin mines of Cornwall. It was 1853 when Mr. Deason moved to Australia, and a year later, Mr. Oates did the same thing to become a gold prospector. They went to Molliagool in 1862 and made a living there for 7 years. Then, in 1864, they hit gold. They found the amazing thing that made history, a huge piece of gold wrapped in quartz that was hidden just below the surface of a slope called Bulldog Gully. Mr. Deason wrote that he tried to use the pick to pick up the rock, but the handle broke because it was so big. He then got a crowbar and dug the nugget out of the ground. It was weighed at the London Chartered Bank in Dunolly, which is about 12 miles away. The nugget was broken up right away because the scales were too big to make a model or take pictures of it. Because people who saw it remember it, a drawing was made of it, and there is now a copy in the Dunolly Museum. Miners in places with lots of gold keep finding important things. For sure, Parker Schnabel has shown that he is a strong person. Let's take a quick look back at his amazing journey. The sparkling nugget. Parker had to find his way through a world full of new claims and cutting-edge technology advances in Season 10 of Gold Rush. A big event happened in the middle of all the digging activity. The electrified nugget was found. Parker, his team, and Gold Rush fans were all very excited about the find because it was so rare and special. When Parker set out on his quest, people were most excited about finding bigger and better things. He hoped to haul and grow his business across Klondike and Scribner Creek. The electric nugget was about 41.8 ounces in weight and got its name from a dendritic crystal attic that looked like lightning bolts. The nugget's unique feature makes it stand out from other finds and a rare natural wonder, which raises its value above its face value. As the season went on, episode 15, $1 Million Payday, became a strong candidate for showing the exciting secret. In the end, the explosive nugget adds a brilliant chapter to Parker's history of hold mining. Its market value is high because it is hard to find and has a beautiful crystal structure. It will always be remembered as an important and memorable gold rush find. The bounty at Eureka Creek. Parker set out on a dangerous adventure at the start of Season 7 of Gold Rush. He learned about how hard the mining business is by dealing with problems like broken equipment, unstable hold yields, and the risks of unexplored terrain. Even so, he wasn't going to give up. He invested in cutting-edge technology and tweaked his business to meet his challenges and make a huge recovery. Around the middle of the season, there was a big change, and watchers saw Parker's work at Eureka Creek start to pay off. After that, there was a long time of impressive gold recovery, which is where the name Eureka Creek Bounty comes from. The peak of this reward was reached by episodes like Eureka Payday and King Knopf Klondike. Parker always found a lot of gold, going above and beyond what fans expected and what he had found before. It was impossible to hold back their happiness as the team enjoyed the results of their hard work and persistence. One thing that makes the Eureka Creek Bounty unique is that it was a turning point. Parker's constant success in finding gold in the area made him a leader in the tough world of gold mining. Because he kept having success, he was able to move his business to other places and buy better technology and tools. Even though Parker has found a lot of gold, he is still losing money. Since he started working as a miner when he was 16, he has lost a lot of money. Allow us to look at some of the losses he has went through. A huge $3 million loss. Parker and his team put a lot of money into an area in Alaska and then got 108 ounces of gold from the waste that old gold miners left behind. But what really made things better was an area called the Wolf Cut. It was untouched land that was thought to have more than 2,000 ounces of gold and be worth more than $3 million. They even called this Wolf Cut the most important pit of the season because of how much information it gave them. Parker's crew needed 2 months just to get to the pay layer of the cut because the area is so deep. Things don't always go as planned, though. That's how things were for the team. A terrible flood a few weeks ago turned the Wolf into a lake. Because it was so hard, Parker thought it would be better to take all the money and go to Vegas than to drown in the Wolf Cut. Parker, who was known for being stubborn, wouldn't just give up the place. After some trouble, the team was able to push back the water, and Mark Fors, who was in charge of the operation, finally came down to get the treasure. Parker was keen to find out if there was enough gold for them to risk everything. He went to one spot and moved the dirt around, but it needed to be better. He finally found some fine dirt in another part of the cut, which meant there was gold there. Parker chose to go work and come back in 2 days with the crew. But just when it looked like everything was going to plan and they were going to get some gold, something shocked the whole crew. There was a hole in the wall and mud and water were pouring out of it. It was clear that Mother Nature was not on their side that day. The water that they thought they had gotten rid of was back, but this time it was stronger and a bigger problem than the last time. People on the crew didn't think this would happen. The Wolf Cut could be filled with it again, which would mean a big loss. An excavator hit the side of the pit while digging for pay at the bottom of the cut. This revealed a mine shaft that was full of water, which flooded millions of gallons of water back into the pit and filled the pay grounds. There was nothing wrong with the crew's preparation. They just needed to be more ready. They had one 8-inch pump, but they needed more to get the job done. The second pump was turned on, but it didn't make a big difference. There was still water coming in from all sides. The team lost the battle against the water after they turned on both pumps. They had no choice but to take the pump out of the wash plant. It was such a big choice, though, and Parker should have made the call. The problem was that he wasn't there or answering his phone. They were in a tough spot. The area would flood if they didn't pull the pump from the wash plant to help the other 2 pumps, and they would lose their pay in the Wolf Cut. It would be hard to believe how much would be lost. Tyler made the tough choice to turn off the wash plant and remove its pump, which doubled their ability to drain. They had to leave the area while the pumps did their thing. In 24 hours, the pumps took away 10 million gallons of water. Parker finally came back, and he was very excited to see the first edit of the Wolf Cut. Instead, People told him stories about the flood that had happened. Parker's trouble with water was still going on, though. In a different story, he came into contact with water again when his mining ground in the Wolf Cut was taken over by water. Underwater mine site. Parker was looking for a pay streak in the 4-acre Wolf Cut on his Alaskan claim. He hoped that it would bring him at least 1,000 ounces this season. The pay dirt was 30 feet below, and the team had to dig out 1,000 yards of extra material to get to it. 4 feet more, and they would be below water. After that, it would be 30 feet before they hit rocks. But things weren't really fine as they seemed at first. The process was going on right next to a pond, and water would be the first thing that would go wrong if something went wrong. Frozen mud was the best option because it kept the water out. Recruit John Baudry was told to deal with the mud and keep the water out, but it looked like the cut was pretty wet, so they had to call their boss. If not, things will go badly if they do. It turned out that the mud got worse and spread faster as they opened up more areas. They still hadn't even cut out a fifth of the area. The Wolf Cut is next to a pond that is pretty old. There was only a small berm between them, not strong enough to stand up to the water pressure if it was messed with. They dug down and found frozen ice that stopped the water from getting in. The permafrost was broken, which now lets pond water seep through the wall and flood the cut. The area will soon have a lot of water if they let it keep going. There was a need for action to save the day. They thought getting a pump would be the best thing for them to do. To fight the water, Parker planned to dig a sunk pond in the cut that was as deep as it could go and put in an 8-inch pump to drain it. He was not going to lose another water fight. After setting it up, they had to wait until the next day. Their plan as a whole was good and seemed like it would work, but how do they choose a pump to drain water that big from a pond without first making sure it works and fixing any problems it might have? The next day, everyone on the team walked outside to see their perfectly dry and ready-to-med Wolf Cut. But they were about to get a bad surprise. They couldn't find their pump anywhere. It looked like the pump was gone, and instead of a cutting that was completely dry, they found a lake. The pump had terrible problems filling the cut and putting the pump 4 feet below the water. $500,000 were about to slip through their hands. The pump was so deep that they couldn't even walk up to it. Tyson had to pull a small kayak out with a chain in the excavator to get the pump to dry ground where they could work on it. Mark Force, the foreman, said that the debris was blocking the suction filter at the end of the hose, which caused the water level to rise and cover the whole pump. To make sure that more flooding wouldn't hurt the pump, he had to take the engine apart and repair it. Parker has shown that he is not easily upset by losses. In fact, he's had a lot of them. In spite of everything, he did something that shocked both miners and fans, putting an end to a season with $14 million in gold. Parker Schnabel and his team were starting a season that might change everything about gold mine. When it was really cold outside, the risks went up because every shovelful of dirt could make or break their dream. As soon as the season began, there was a sense of urgency, and Parker worked around the clock to coordinate his team's attempts to find the valuable material. The difficult conditions in Alaska were not taken lightly. They put their mental health to the test. They were determined to find their prize, even though the terrain was dangerous and some of the tools they were using didn't work right. Parker had to carefully plan every move because he was in charge of this determined group. His leadership skills had been honed over the years through failures and successes. Expectations were high, but he didn't let that stop him from leading his team through the dangerous terrain. He was motivated by the belief that the Klondike held the key to a life-changing fortune that, when found, would make all of their problems seem small. They finally made progress after a long time when they found a rich seam that went on and on below the frozen ground. It was impossible to contain the excitement in the mine camp when they found a way to do it and a large deposit of gold that would make their whole season different. After a string of setbacks and dashed dreams, the Klondike finally gave up the treasure it held. The huge job of getting the gold out of the frozen ground was still to be done, and Parker was in charge of it. Good news gets around quickly, and this finding does too. The news spread like a blaze through California, getting the attention of both supporters and opponents of mining. Parker and his group were put in the spotlight, and everyone was watching to see how the process would go. This put a lot of pressure on the crew. It looked like they might get $1 million haul. The crew had to race against time as winter got colder. This was another thing that would determine their success. The process of mining sped up, and heavy equipment was used to dig up the gold-filled dirt. When they worked together, it was amazing, and shocking things were found in the gold room where they kept their loot. Parker Schnabel told them how much money they had stolen, with a mix of pride and shock. $14 million worth of gold. People on his team, among miners, fans, and skeptics, were all amazed by this amazing feat. This season of Gold Rush will always be remembered as one of the best in Klondike history. Parker makes $364,000 in gold after getting rookie operator to move Slucifer. Parker, who had a lot of knowledge, kept showing off his accomplishments all these years. Not long ago, he did something even more amazing. He made $364,000 in gold by getting a new operator to move the Slucifer. The project already owed a huge $15 million, and Parker didn't know how to get out of this mess. There were daily costs and pressing repairs that needed to be done. There was some hope in the idea of getting a $160 million payday in the Dominion, but there were many unknowns along the way. It became clear when he admitted that the whole thing was making him feel pretty worried. He felt a little uneasy for the first time in a few years. He wasn't alone, though, which was good. His team would be there for him no matter what. To save the working bodies, Tyson had to take on everything. He got permission to use the mine from Ken Tatlow and Stuart Schmidt, and then began the impossible job of making the experience great again. No one expected the first cut to be so bad, and it took a lot longer than anyone thought it would. As soon as Parker realized how important it was, the pressure rose. He thought Tyson would be able to get up soon. The determination of Parker stayed strong, even though the work to prepare the new spot was hard. He went on to say that while he was getting El Dardo ready, he thought he had a lot of time. But when he was getting the next plant pad ready, he realized he didn't. As Parker dealt with the problems at El Dorado, everyone was left wondering if his unwavering determination would help him get through the tough times and find the gold stores that could make his mining project a success. Parker and Tyson were both involved in the El Dorado. Moving the wash plant at the El Dorado cut was a huge task that turned some important events in Tyson's life. They had everything they needed except time, because the process had to be done by a certain date. The due date for this job was Sunday, and if it was completed successfully, it would be able to stay alive. The plot jumbled up money problems, practical issues, and the almost constant search for the jackpot at Dominion into a mess of problems that needed to be carefully handled. The financial situation added another level of difficulty to the story. The operation, which was already a financial puzzle, was done with the worry of possible bills and the costs of running the business. As I watch them, I can't help but wonder, will this smart move help them find the gold mines they were looking for? Or will it be a big mistake on the crazy road of gold mining? At some point in this nail-biting story, you couldn't help but wonder, would Parker Schnabel's huge risk pay off? Or would his growing financial responsibilities and practical problems make it impossible for him to reach his goal of finding a gold mine? Dominion is a world where gold rules and fortunes can change in an instant. Parker Schnabel found himself in a very bad spot. Now is the time for the dream of the unreachable gold to change. Along with it came hard times financially, so the business could stay open. The heat had almost made this area its home. It makes me wonder what it's like to be ruled over. The answer is as easy as the question, but it beautifully describes the harsh conditions these miners have to work in every day. The word Domian means sovereign, and the people who were looking for treasure buried in its land often tell it what its rules are. Another look at the area points to the harshness that is hidden by the light. Parker and his team's determination should definitely be praised. Recently, the weather has gone up, which has raised the bar for what is acceptable. This seemingly normal talk showed how hard these people's lives were. They had to work from dawn until dusk in the hot sun. The next step was to sluice there, but that wasn't official yet. As the thought of starting the sluicing process set in, there was a sense of excitement in the air. After some time, they said that sluicing wouldn't happen because they needed to get better at it first before moving the business. The team was eager to start sluicing, but first, they had to make some strategic choices. There was a lot of tension in the gold mining business because Tico, who was making efforts to make things run more smoothly, set a hard goal. As the order echoed through the mining site, the story unfolded quickly. Tico wanted the plant to begin buzzing before morning. The attention then turned to Tyson, whose scary job it was to move Slucifer around on a pole that wasn't stable. Tyson had to make up Slucifer out of a leaning stick he had lying around. The language used made it clear that the business was sloppy and rushed, even if no one knew how to make learning staff. Putting pressure on Tyson became an important part of the story, a major source of tension that gave the story more depth. To move the Slucifer, You had to have a steady hand and a lot of skill that you learned over time. Tyson had to deal with a lack of experienced hands while working on a tough job. Alec and Liam helped out the last time, and it looked like they were going to drag Lucifer while Evan Kurtz, who was just an operator and didn't know how to move a wash plant, moved Lucifer. The moving of the wash plant was complicated by the fact that parts had to be slung up to the sluicer and then pulled down to the new pad by the 750. The main reason it was hard to do was because changing wash plants was hard to do when there were already few hands available. As Tyson and Evan took on the job of moving the pieces of sluicer to its new location, the story took an interesting turn. It wasn't just a jump that was being planned, it was a symbolic risk in the dangerous world of gold mining. Once sluicer was taken apart piece by piece, sharing could be seen as both a risky move and a game of chance. People who watched this story grow as a dynamic journey had to think about what would happen with the operation and the luck that was going on at the same time. Everything that was done in the world of gold mining had the power to change the whole course of the season, even sluicer's seemingly random jump. The 45-ton wash plant, Sluicer, that held the promise of $364,000 in gold hung over their heads. Tyson and his team had to carefully move Sluicer so that the process would go as planned. To get to its new wash plant pad, Sluicer had to go up a steep ramp, which was hard to do because of the environment. Tyson used the 750 excavator, which was the best one on site at the time, to help carry the heavy Lucifer up the hill because he knew it was a period piece. As the story goes on, there is an amazing scene of bravery as they try to get around their opponent. But behind it all is the dangerous operation. The shot was tense because of the way the land was angled and how rude the Washington plant was. The wash plant started to slowly but surely rise because Tyson knew how to use everything he had at the time in a strategic way. From the first few steps toward the wash plant, you could feel the stress in the story, and Tyson's main point made the already difficult task even harder. He said that his bucket would be used as a small wrench. He talked about how you need to be able to adapt and be creative when you run into problems you didn't expect. At this point, everyone is almost in pain from the fight and can feel the strain of the hard mental and physical work that needs to be done to get the sluicer where it needs to be. Tyson's smart use of the bucket as a makeshift crowbar showed how important it was to be able to think quickly and change to survive in the unpredictable world of gold mining. So the operation as a whole relied on the team, and how well they did in this last stage was crucial to achieving the overall goal of a successful season in the Dominion. If this last step is completed successfully, not only will the difficult task be over, but Parker Schnabel will also have the chance to reach his big season goal. The team's ability to deal with the difficulty of this important configuration determined whether the whole operation succeeded or failed. As soon as the work was done, the wash plant set firmly on the pad, giving everyone a sense of readiness and accomplishment. The construction of the conveyor and the hopper feeder was a big deal in and of itself. It was a clear sign that gold processing was about to start. After following this high-stakes operation through all of its changes and surprises, I couldn't help but feel satisfied. There was a promise of gold worth $364,000 off in the distance. The problems were solved, and now everyone was waiting for the next part of Parker Schnabel's story. This move could change everything for Parker. It could get him a big payday and help him beat the challenges of gold digging in Dominion. After finding $364,000 in gold, he was making smart decisions, like letting a new operator move the sluicer, which was the most important job. Using Sluicer and Gold Rush has had a big effect on the show and the people who watch it. Sluicer's demonstration of cutting-edge technology shows how the gold mining business has changed over time. The time was running out, and every second counted as they looked for the hard-to-find gold that would decide whether the mission succeeded or failed. Parker said he liked how the move was organized. After the rig move, the story went on to look at the day after. Everyone was so eager to hear the result that they stood on edge to listen. They knew that today's machine was the only one that could tell them how productive the whole season had been. The news of the golden sample led to both hope and disappointment. We called that sluicing. Parker was looking for a 5,000-ounce endonym to keep his business from going through a lot of trouble. He needed 300 ounces of water a week to get it. For the team, this was the last payment thanks to Parker's Vice, a 5,000-ounce season worth $364,000. After that, the count by the number of ounces showed that there was, in fact, a pileup that was different from the group's weekly goal, but still impressive.
All right, 20, 40, 60, 70, 110, 120.
Eventually, they will discover gold valued at $240,000. Consequently, what strategies did they employ to overcome their obstacles? How did they manage to function amidst severe weather conditions? As we investigate alongside Parker, he discovers gold valued at $240,000 on Tony Beat's claim. How it all began. In a brief period of time, Parker Schnabel and his team have never before mined more ground than they do now, following the completion of a deal with Tony Beats. Prior to the conclusion of the season, he must complete the task, and spring is considered the ideal time to set things up. They have resolved to exert maximum effort in the pursuit of completing it prior to the autumn, in the hopes of attaining a favorable result. Although the team harbors skepticism regarding their capacity to complete the project within the allotted timeframe, they maintain an optimistic outlook. Nona Lovelace affirms that this year's sprint is a complete sprint, as the anticipated completion date is in the spring. A member of the team, Tatiana Costa, exclaims that the quantity of snowfall they encountered was indescribable, as each surface was blanketed in dense snow that demanded additional exertion to clear. She then transports the frozen overburden to the waste pile in order to make room for additional labor. Following 4 days of operations proceeding as scheduled and equipment functioning flawlessly, the team avidly awaits the verdict of the novel Tony Beats claim, not anticipating any adverse consequences. Following the completion of 4 days of machine operation, the team becomes eagerly anticipating the outcome of the new Tony Beats claim, cognizant of the effort they have invested. As a consequence, the total weight of the gold realized was 137.8, which is approximately $240,000. The group expresses gratitude to Tony Beats and recognizes the possibility of a hectic season. They ponder the difficulties, the readiness of the apparatus, and the promising beginning to the season. Parker concluded by expressing gratitude to the entire team for returning for a second season, for their contributions to the success of the project, for the team's inspection of the used equipment, and for putting in so much effort to ensure the project's success. Gold Rush elevated the profile of the youthful and prosperous gold miner Parker Schnabel to prominence. He was born in Haines, Alaska, on July 22, 1994, into a family with a significant heritage in the gold mining industry. Parker became a member of Gold Rush during its second season at the tender age of 17. Despite his youth, he exhibited remarkable prowess in the field of gold extraction and a diligent work ethic. Parker achieved the distinction of becoming the youngest mining foreman in the history of the Klondike during his time on the program. Since assuming control of the Big Nugget mine from his patriarch, John Schnabel, his mining operations have grown. Parker has confronted a multitude of obstacles, encompassing apparatus failures, severe weather circumstances, and the demands of managing a prosperous mining enterprise. Despite earning millions of dollars annually, he does not retain the entire amount for personal use. He employs a team, and while their precise remuneration remains undisclosed, it is probable that they amass a considerable fortune when they unearth substantial quantities of gold over the course of a season. Parker abandoned his studies in favor of excavating, with the expectation of uncovering not only a hidden treasure but also an entire way of living. A substantial quantity of gold was discovered by Parker Schnabel and his team in the second season of Gold Rush. They obtained 34 ounces worth a total of $55,000. Parker was profoundly affected by this discovery, which motivated him to continue with the program and mining thereafter. Parker Schnabel estimated that the largest fragment of gold he had ever discovered weighed no more than a quarter ounce and was valued at between $400 and $500. He elaborated that it is uncommon to discover gems of that size and that the gold industry has undergone significant transformations since his grandfather began working in it in the 1980s. Parker Schnabel is determined to improve this time around. A depth of approximately 40 feet must be dug by him and his crew in order to discover the gold. But it is expensive. Thousands of dollars must be added to the $15 million that he has already invested in the property. Further, this serves as the initial stage. This season, Parker is confronted with a critical choice that has the potential to alter the course of his mining career. Parker Schnabel aims to surpass his previous record of discovering 5,300 ounces of gold with a value of $9 million. He is now setting an even more ambitious goal, obtaining 6,000 ounces from the Indian River. Confronting the difficulties of the Klondike, he is resolute and perseverant. A great deal of determination is anticipated from him throughout this thrilling voyage. Audiences have witnessed Parker's leadership, determination, and capacity to make difficult decisions under duress throughout the course of the series. His reputation stems from the fact that he challenges himself and his crew to accomplish lofty objectives. Parker Schnabel, notwithstanding the fluctuations, has emerged as one of the most accomplished and widely recognized individuals in the film Gold Rush. Gold Rush featured a diverse workforce of crew members who were integral to Parker Schnabel's mining operations. Every member made a contribution that aligned with the initial plan for the project's success. What are your reflections on this particular occurrence of Parker's conquest? Additionally, for more thrilling adventures, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Continue to be tuned for more. A lot of people work hard behind the scenes to keep Parker Schnabel's Yukon mining business running, but fans want to know how much Parker's crew members get paid while they risk their lives and limbs churning pay dirt 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the harsh Klondike. Which workers make almost $500,000 a year running Parker's risky business? Come along on this fun trip as we look closely at how much Schnabel's group makes. Gold Rush is a hit show on the Discovery Channel that keeps the attention on young mining mogul Parker Schnabel every week. Millions of people follow his brave journey to get gold from the harsh Klondike Desert. Fans watch Parker lead the way in each important mining milestone, but they don't notice the daily risks and sacrifices of his entire staff. Parker was very open on social media when he talked about what his hardworking team gets to take home after months of digging. His openness was a welcome gift for all the people who want to know how much these regular workers on his salary make. Parker says that the new workers on his Yukon mine crew put in 75 hours a week for weeks during the short summer mining season. In general, they make about 34 Canadian dollars an hour. Paying by the hour might sound like a pretty cool job, but Parker's claim, which is based on being physically and mentally drained to the limit, says it's about CAD 65,000 over 25 weeks, or about 6 months, because of the hard Yukon winter that stops digging. Taxes and living costs at camp are taken into account, and new crew members' take-home pay gets closer and closer to CAD 40,000. It was a very hard job. Parker also said that teams work 12-hour shifts that are very strictly scheduled and start working together at 7 a.m. until 7 o'clock at night, when the summer sun in Alaska lets it. As the short season grows older and the days get shorter, shift changes begin at 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Parker gives his best workers some nice bonuses, even though the starting pay may not seem like much for the amount of work that is expected. The mine's huge fleet of rock trucks are some of Schnabel's most valuable assets, and the machine workers who are in charge of them can make more than $40,000 a year in Canadian dollars. These skilled miners drive huge Caterpillar trucks that can carry up to 50 tons of ore from the fields to the wash plant. Their never-ending runs are key to beating Parker's high 4,000-ounce, $6 million season gold goal. Even though it's hard on their bodies and takes a lot of time, workers who are put in charge of these important tasks could make 6 figures. Thanks to Parker's openness, fans now know more about how much Parker's crew makes. However, it's important to remember that the numbers he shared are medians and averages, not exact amounts. Pay for entry-level jobs changes depending on experience, bonuses are kept secret, and the amounts given could be in Canadian dollars instead of US dollars. As we've already talked about, Schnabel's new crew members work 75-hour weeks their first season. In just 5 days, that's more than twice as many hours as a normal 40-hour office job. And when mine is busy and there is a lot of daylight, those long shifts last from 7 a.m. until just before midnight. There are millions of dollars at stake every season, and sitting idle cuts into profits too much. And when your boss is a taskmaster like Parker Schnabel, you can't skip steps or take too long to do something. Speaking of the boss, let's see how much does Parker Schnabel make. Discussing Parker Schnabel's financial journey, it's intriguing to delve into his early years at Big Nugget, his grandfather's mining firm. From a young age, he displayed an uncanny aptitude for heavy machinery, operating equipment even before reaching pedal height. The question arises, did he commence earning a substantial income at such a tender age, and how has his net worth evolved over the years? Born on July 22, 1994, in Haines, Alaska, Parker Schnabel's journey in the mining industry commenced in his grandfather's firm, where he earned his stripes and eventually amassed a net worth of $15 million. His hard work in gold prospecting and mining, coupled with his foray into reality television, has significantly contributed to this impressive figure. The pivotal inquiry remains: what is the extent of his earnings? Parker's earnings from reality TV are notable, with payments per episode ranging from $10,000 to $25,000. For comparison, fellow cast member Jack Hoffman earns approximately $10,000 per episode. Consequently, Parker's annual income is estimated to surpass $1 million, solely from his involvement in the show Gold Rush. However, this leads to a crucial consideration. How does his income from gold findings impact his overall wealth? Having appeared in 330 episodes of Gold Rush by 2023, Parker Schnabel left his family mine in Season 4, extracting a remarkable 28 kg, 60 pounds of gold in a year. Additionally, his participation in and production of spin-offs like Gold Rush The Dirt and Gold Rush Parker's Trail further bolstered his financial standing. By the age of 24, he had mined gold valued at over $16 million. Beyond the glamorous figures, it's essential to account for expenses and salaries associated with his mining ventures. While the exact amount of his share remains undisclosed, making assumptions based on his considerable expenditures offers a perspective. Parker Schnabel's diverse car collection, ranging from modern marvels like the Ford F-150 Raptor and Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, to vintage classics such as a 1967 Ford Mustang GT500 and a 1970 Chevrolet C10 pickup truck, exemplifies his taste for the finer things. In addition to his mining pursuits, Schnabel has successfully ventured into entrepreneurship. He owns a mining company and has established a line of gold mining equipment. A published author as well, he penned 2 books, namely Gold Rush: My Story and Parker Schnabel's Gold Rush Alaska, providing insights into his experiences as a gold miner. This multifaceted approach to wealth creation highlights Parker Schnabel's business acumen beyond the glitz of reality television. Because Schnabel is so open, his work shows us what might be coming next. The most important question is whether the people who want to work there can handle the long hours, sore feet, and boring jobs that are needed to not only find gold specks, but also fill pockets with coins. Now let's take a look at some of Parker's thrilling finds. Parker, 27, says he mined nearly 7,000 ounces of gold worth $12.8 million with days left in his season. He advised putting as much gold in the box as quickly as possible and making as much money as possible to fund a second procedure next year. Prior to the Yukon winter freezing them out, Parker needed to collect nearly 350 ounces of gold to beat his record. Parker relied on factory manager Tyson and top technician and informant Mitch. He confirmed they spent more than last year. He had spent $5.4 million going to the bottom of Mud Mountain and hadn't broken even, but he was on a roll. If enough were there, Parker claimed he could win big. Parker noted that the remaining drilling was the best, therefore, there remained optimism. Mitch and operator Damon Brown were ready to remove the last gold-rich pay dirt. Mitch stated they have to deliver the last road payment to Big Red and draw the dewatering pump to finish Mud Mountain Cut. Considering their inventory before they started, Damon said Mud Mountain had 1 hopper. Mitch praised Damon's work and advised shutting down the factory. Mitch whooped with joy when they shut down Big Red at Mud Mountain for the last time. Mitch stated they would know the gold totals once Chris completed the final cleanup and see how much they could obtain. Parker told his team hours after the sluices stopped that they would get little gold in a season with many bills. Parker inquired what they wanted to do to solve it. Parker sought another rapid score before winter, still short of last year's 7,500-ounce total. Parker reminded them that when Mitch tore up the road at the airfield in Zone 3, they still felt the land below was fine. There was still possibility. Mitch's risk to mine ground under a road at the airfield for 281.50 ounces paid off earlier in the season. Parker said he will relocate a wash plant to that part of road near the river to start setting things up. Mitch could start that and prepare his staff, right? Mitch agreed they could. Parker quipped that he would clean gold again since there was a lot. Parker's 5M gold haul. Nona, a crew member, accidentally ruined a Big Red pipeline. The system suffered considerable damage. Nona called for aid. The dozer had snagged and torn the pipeline in half, releasing everything from the wash facility. It split the pipeline in 2 and also destroyed the wash plant manifold. As bypass, this provided plant water to the pre-wash. This was considered the worst possible situation at the time. She was gone when it took this pipe off. A 90-degree manifold linked the pump pipeline to the plant. A 90-degree manifold connecting the bypass and wash plant water supply was damaged. Mitch had to disconnect the bypass that controlled water flow, strip the manifold hoses, and reattach them to the plant. This crude repair may increase water pressure and flush gold from the sluice. After cutting off the damaged portion, they fused the pipe back together, saying it was like magic. Next, Mitch bent a flexible hose from the water supply to the wash plant. Mitch confirmed that they would need a flat 8-inch section to reach their water line without a bypass. Mitch relied on the pump for water pressure. The water flow resumed. After 4 hours, $30,000, and lost gold, they resumed pay dirt. Big Red's pipeline disaster was not new. Parker thought Nona was punishing herself hard for causing it. Parker rushed to get all the gold from Big Red before winter shut him down. However, he was in his D11 dozer to address a more important matter. Parker said it was difficult because they were behind on gold and wanted to get it out of the ground. But if they didn't undertake reclamation, they wouldn't have a future. The staff turned down the pump again due to another issue. A dirt-filled plant was described. From the distribution box, water and pay dirt were uniformly distributed throughout 4 sluice lines. Justin overloaded the facility to boost output, obstructing the distribution box and backing up Big Red. They then attempted system repair. Parker was close to breaking last year's 7,504 ounce mark when the season ended. Parker required 420 ounces of gold each week from his wash plants to keep on pace. Gold counting and weighing began. First gold weight, 115.4 ounces. Parker invested nearly $5 million in Mud Mountain and required 900 ounces to benefit from the cut. The following weight yielded 368.45 ounces. That may be the series' finest gold discovery. Lucifer plant manager Tyson Lee and foreman Mitch Blaschke attended the season's first double gold weigh. Parker told Ken that Big Red was put up well by the team. Parker said Mitch and Brennan usually worked together, which was excellent, but Tyson stepped up. Parker noted that this was their first cleaning on Ken's land, which was thrilling. Ken said he hadn't seen gold in 40 years. Parker opened the week 900 ounces below last season's total. Both plants had to average 235 ounces to equal last season. Parker commanded someone to yell numbers and poured out gold to weigh. First gold weight, 208.75 ounces. For the second batch from Big Red, the gold weight measured 263.8 ounces and was worth nearly $475,000. Parker stated Big Red had gotten him back up to speed. Thanks for watching. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more mind-blowing videos. In the high-stakes world of gold mining, Parker Schnabel's relentless quest for success has taken him down an adventurous road this season on Gold Rush. In the spirit of Wayne Gretzky, who once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take," Parker rolled the dice by spending a whopping $15 million in the Dominion Creek claim. This courageous move, however, has proven to be a risky trip. The journey to Schnabel's ambitious target of 5,000 ounces has been everything but straightforward. With a new wash plant added to the mix, the challenges have grown, pushing both his resources and team to the limit. The questions are being raised about Parker Schnabel's decisions, and the fans are awaiting answers. Parker Schnabel, the ambitious gold miner, having accomplished the notable milestone of 4,400 ounces, is gearing up to unveil a revolutionary addition to his operation. This carefully planned and eagerly anticipated move is strategically crafted to exceed the remarkable goal of 5,000 ounces. Viewers, who have been anxiously awaiting a sneak peek at Parker's latest wash plant, can finally see their desires realized in this new and thrilling installment. The anticipation is over, and Parker Schnabel has revealed his new wash plant. The new plant, known as Roxanne, takes the front stage in Parker Schnabel's quest for gold, serving as the focal point of his exciting adventure. Parker intentionally places Roxanne at the forefront of his persistent hunt for gold, driven by a firm desire to maximize efficiency and productivity. This cutting-edge wash plant represents more than simply a tool in Parker's inventory. It is a critical component that might potentially change the course of his gold mining venture. This cutting-edge wash plant represents not only an incredible technological improvement, but also the result of extensive research and careful consideration. Parker's quest for Roxanne began in the 5th season of Gold Rush Parker's Trail in New Zealand, when he investigated numerous wash plant alternatives, examining each one with extreme diligence. The approach included evaluating new ideas and even visiting successful miners, such as Ian White, demonstrating Parker's dedication to finding the best fit for his operations. The 3rd episode of this journey featured a floating machine wash plant, which was considered the most technologically advanced in the world at the time. Despite its advanced technology and efficiency, the hard terrain near Fairbanks made it unsuitable. Parker remained resilient, examining several solutions until he decided to create his own wash plant. This marked the start of a 2-year process in which Parker and his team worked relentlessly to bring rock sand to life. The years of planning and development demonstrate Parker Schnabel's commitment to pushing limits and responding to the changing demands of the gold mining business. Roxanne exhibits cutting-edge technologies, revolutionizing the gold mining scene. With cutting-edge features, this wash facility represents a new era of efficiency and precision in Parker Schnabel's pursuit of gold. Roxanne's creative design and enhanced capabilities demonstrate a commitment to pushing the boundaries and embracing cutting-edge mining technologies. As we dig into the intricate details of Roxanne, the spotlight shines on the technological marvel that is set to revolutionize Parker's gold mining journey in unprecedented ways. Before getting into further details, let's have a look at the working of the wash plant. A wash plant is actually an important equipment in gold mining that extracts and concentrates precious minerals, primarily gold, from alluvial deposits. Its major function is to extract these valuable minerals from the surrounding sediment, gravel, and rocks using a combination of water, gravity, and mechanical methods. First, raw material, a mixture of dirt, gravel, and rocks, is fed into the wash plant. This can be achieved using a variety of methods, such as conveyor belts or loaders, to ensure a consistent flow of material for processing. As the raw material reaches the wash plant, it passes through a critical sorting and classification process. Screens or grizzly bars are used to properly categorize particles based on their size. This step is necessary to prepare the material for further processing. The wash plant's ability lies in its capacity to break down raw materials through a washing process. Water, a key component in this step, is used to break down the substance into smaller particles. This procedure is critical in separating precious minerals, particularly gold, from the surrounding rock and dirt. Following the washing process, the material is transferred to sluice boxes or jigs, which are critical components of the wash plant's operations. Sluice boxes use the flow of water to catch and concentrate larger particles, such as gold, allowing lighter elements to wash away. Alternatively, jigs involve pulsating water flow to separate particles according to density. Gold miners use different types of wash plants to extract gold from dirt. These wash plants vary in size and complexity based on the specific needs of the mining operation. The choice of a wash plant depends on factors like the size of the mining project, the characteristics of the gold deposit, and the availability of resources. In shows like Gold Rush, which depict the reality of gold mining, the wash plant becomes a central element. It showcases the miners' strategic decisions and their investment in advanced technology. For instance, Parker Schnabel, a prominent figure in the series, is known for seeking cutting-edge wash plant solutions. This reflects a dedication to improving operational efficiency and maximizing the recovery of gold in his mining activities. But don't get your hopes high. During the inaugural run of Roxanne, Parker Schnabel's new wash plant, the crew encountered unforeseen issues that necessitated swift amendments. As the plant processed its initial load of pay dirt, issues like electrical problems and water hose malfunctions arose. Parker remained calm and collected, showcasing his ability to address challenges as they happened. The debut of Roxanne became a testing ground for the team's adaptability and problem-solving skills. Despite the setbacks, Parker's leadership shone through, emphasizing the importance of making real-time adjustments for optimal performance. Refining how Roxanne operates became a crucial part of the plan, highlighting the importance of making sure the wash plant performs at its best. The team, persistent in their efforts to fine-tune, expertly navigated the challenging terrain of gold mining, making smart adjustments along the way. Their unwavering commitment to this fine-tuning process shows how determined Parker Schnabel is to get the most gold with the least effort. This commitment sets the stage for a season filled with exceptional achievements and success in the world of the gold rush. We can look forward to an exciting journey ahead as we watch the team continually strive for excellence and overcome the challenges they face in their quest for gold. The unfolding story promises not just suspense and drama, but also valuable insights into the intricate world of gold mining. The introduction of Roxanne, the latest wash plant, turned out to be a game-changer for Parker Schnabel and his crew, pulling in an impressive 56.85 ounces of gold during its inaugural run with pay dirt. This stellar debut set the tone for a promising start to the season, and Parker's carefully thought-out strategy, coupled with Roxanne's efficiency, hints at the potential for record-breaking gold yields as the season unfolds. The remarkable results from Roxanne's first operation are just the starting point, promising viewers an engaging and exciting season ahead. Parker Schnabel's unwavering determination and willingness to push boundaries in the dynamic gold mining industry are vividly showcased in the creation of Roxanne. This innovative wash plant, meticulously planned and developed over a span of 2 years, reflects Parker's commitment to staying ahead in the ever-changing landscape of gold extraction. Roxanne's success is poised to become a defining element of the season, underscoring Parker's tenacity and strategic approach in his relentless quest for gold. Fans, captivated by Roxanne's journey, eagerly anticipate the unfolding success in Gold Rush Season 14, applauding Parker Schnabel's passion and envisioning a bright future filled with golden possibilities. For those of you who are the new fans and followers of everyone's favorite Gold Rush, Parker Schnabel is a well-known figure in the reality TV series Gold Rush, which follows the struggles and adventures of gold miners in search of money. Parker was born on July 22, 1994, in Haines, Alaska, and is well known for his ambitious and tenacious approach to gold mining. His participation in the Gold Rush began as a teenager, when he joined the family business run by his grandfather, John Schnabel. Parker grew from an amateur miner to a seasoned and successful gold digger during the series. Parker is known for his analytical and strategic thinking, and he has demonstrated leadership abilities while directing mining operations in difficult terrain. His remarkable accomplishments include setting the record for the youngest miner to produce 1,000 ounces of gold in a single season. In the world of Gold Rush, Parker Schnabel's role goes beyond the mere pursuit of gold. It's about tackling the challenges that come with mining, dealing with the unpredictable nature of the industry, and facing crucial decisions head-on. Viewers are drawn not just to the glimmer of gold, but to Parker's unwavering determination, strong work ethic, and his ability to adapt to whatever the mining world throws at him. His character stands out, making him a central and beloved figure in the show. Whether it's overcoming technical obstacles or uncovering significant gold deposits, Parker Schnabel continues to be a driving force in the evolving narrative of the Gold Rush. Getting more into the details of the Gold Rush, as we talked about at the start, Parker signed a jaw-dropping $15 million check, securing Dominion Creek. It's a vast, untapped expanse that holds the promise of 80,000 ounces of gold, a potential $160 million jackpot. And this new wash plant is a crucial part in discovering the creek. But everything comes up with its own challenges. Now, the big surprise is that the gold in Dominion Creek is really deep, like 40 feet deep. That means Parker Schnabel has to spend even more money to dig it all up. It's a massive decision for him because he's throwing down a whopping $15 million for this untapped gold mine. This isn't just a regular choice, it's a tough situation where he has to weigh the possibility of hitting it big against the risk of losing a ton of money. So, Schnabel is at a crossroads, facing a challenging dilemma that could either bring him incredible success or a serious financial setback. In a recent interview with People, Schnabel shared a candid moment, expressing that they were at a crucial crossroads, debating whether to take on more significant risks by investing a substantial amount in new ground or opt for downsizing. The interview delves into the decision-making process, emphasizing the weight of such choices in the context of gold mining. Schnabel openly discusses the internal struggle, recognizing the profound impact on his team, who depend on him for their livelihoods. His straightforward account provides a glimpse into the complexities and challenges faced by gold miners, adding a compelling layer to the Gold Rush narrative. Parker Schnabel, the experienced gold miner, openly discusses the internal struggle he faced in a recent interview. He emphasizes his priority of keeping his crew intact over downsizing, acknowledging the challenges of maintaining a successful business. Schnabel highlights the importance of generating significant revenue, emphasizing the need for both ample ground and gold ounces to support their substantial operation. The fear of disrupting a well-established crew adds a personal touch to Schnabel's pursuit of gold, underscoring the high stakes involved in his ambitious endeavors. As Parker Schnabel ventures into the challenges of this significant investment, a pivotal question arises. Was Dominion Creek truly worth the $15 million risk? Schnabel, pragmatically approaching the query, responds that as far as if it was worth it, we'll see. He asserts that Dominion Creek is a long-term investment, emphasizing that its actual profitability will unfold over the years to come. The compelling episodes capture Schnabel's bold decision amid uncertainty, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the unpredictable twists and turns that await in the world of the Gold Rush. As Parker faces the challenges of the mining industry, Roxanne stands out as a light of innovation and efficiency, promising to play a critical role in molding the outcomes of this season's gold mining operations. The expectation surrounding Roxanne's performance heightens fans' excitement, laying the groundwork for a season of revolutionary accomplishments and the promise of record-setting gold yields. As we wrap up this thrilling journey into the heart of Gold Rush and witness Parker Schnabel's bold introduction of the game-changing wash plant Roxanne, it's undeniable that we're in for an exhilarating season filled with highs and challenges. The debut of Roxanne marked a pivotal moment in Parker's relentless pursuit of gold, and we've seen the wash plant face its share of setbacks and triumphs. From the initial assembly to the dramatic first run, Roxanne has proven to be more than just a piece of machinery. It's a symbol of innovation and determination in the unpredictable world of gold mining. Parker's commitment to pushing boundaries and maximizing efficiency is evident in every aspect of this groundbreaking wash plant. As we eagerly anticipate the upcoming episodes, one can't help but marvel at the potential record-breaking gold yields that Roxanne promises to deliver. The 56.85 ounces from its inaugural run are just a glimpse into what could be a season filled with unprecedented achievements. So join us next time as we continue to follow Parker Schnabel and his crew through the twists and turns of Gold Rush Season 14. Will Roxanne live up to its potential, and how will Parker navigate the challenges that lie ahead? Stay tuned for more gold, more drama, and more excitement in the world of Gold Rush. Parker Schnabel stands in the cold Yukon, where the wind whispers stories of gold. That he worked hard and didn't give up in the gold mines is something that many people can learn from. There is one thing though. How much does Parker make? How much money does he have? Today, we're looking for answers to find out what this modern-day Gold Rush hero was really like. Parker Schnabel, a gold mining hero from the Yukon Territory of Canada, is known for his hard work and determination in the industry. Born on July 22, 1994, in Haines, Alaska, he inherited the great qualities of his grandfather, John Schnabel, who is the biggest name in the industry. At an early age, Parker began mastering the skill of gold mining in Porcupine Creek, Alaska, where his grandfather owned a mine. This was the moment when he fell in love with gold excavation. Parker's participation in the Discovery Channel reality show, Gold Rush, provided the first step towards his financial success. His strategic thinking and never-say-die attitude endeared him to the audience. As a teenager, Parker made his way through the ranks of the gold business, leading him to become a wealthy entrepreneur. Unofficial sources suggest that his net value is $8 million, which is proof of his unrelenting devotion and strategic excellence in the mining business. However, the exact amount of gold taken out by Parker is closely guarded information. Gold mining is a complex affair, and miners often guard their production figures to maintain a competitive advantage. The actual depth to which Parker Schnabel's gold mining activities are exposed to the mass media may never be fully unveiled. Despite his success, Parker keeps on breaking the limits with his quest to find new gold deposits and his deep love for the land. He does not believe in taking straight paths and is prepared to take on new challenges with each new season. In 2010, at only 16, Parker took out a mining claim on Porcupine Creek, and with a small crew, he started prospecting for gold. Parker demonstrated an outstanding talent for the art form, displaying skills and instincts beyond his age. He showed a sharp eye for gold spots that were often missed by others, making him different from the others. His talents went beyond just the science of gold mining. He had an instinct for the art of gold mining. With strategic planning and practical know-how, he came up with a new approach to gold extraction that was both efficient and profitable. His mining strategy was nothing less than artistic, adjusting his approach to the demands of the unpredictable environment. In conclusion, Parker Schnabel's story serves as a testament to his dedication, determination, and skill in the gold mining industry. His story serves as a reminder of the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and the power of determination in the face of adversity. Parker Schnabel, a gold mining prospector, has become a shining example for young miners, demonstrating that age is not a barrier to success in an industry where experience always comes first. His success as a prospector has grown, and his fame as a gold mining prospector has become a shining example for young miners. In 2012, Parker gained the attention of producers of the reality show Gold Rush, which follows the lives of several gold mining families in the Yukon Territory of Canada. Parker was a major player on the show and became a well-known person. He used his growing popularity to become even more successful, becoming a speaker and author, and building his line of gold mining equipment. Parker then branched into other industries such as jewelry and clothing. His jewelry company exploited the timeless appeal of gold and precious stones, providing customers with beautiful pieces that conveyed his mining passion and craftsmanship. His clothing firm focused on a small market of outdoor lovers and thrill seekers who who were looking for durable and stylish clothing for their adventures in nature. What makes Parker stand out among other entrepreneurs is his ability to identify untapped market niches and use them advantageously. He can distinguish himself from competitors through innovation, creativity, and strategic thinking. Parker's business journey is truly unique due to his willingness to take risks and face challenges boldly. Starting as a teenage miner, he has been through a lot of struggles and disappointments in his life, but continues to explore new possibilities and motivate others to do the same. His strong work ethic, unyielding determination, and commitment to quality make him a true asset to the communities where he operates. Throughout his journey, Parker's family has always been there for him. His grandfather, John Schnabel, was a very big influence on his decision to pursue gold mining. He was never stopped from pursuing his goals by his parents. With dedication and perseverance, nothing is impossible for Parker. In 2016, Parker's grandfather, John Schnabel, died at the age of 92. Despite the pain of his loss, Parker's determination burned brighter than the weight of his grief. He returned to Porcupine Creek, where he had acquired mining skills from his grandfather. He knew that his grandfather would have expected him to continue his family tradition, to keep the dream of gold alive. Parker's new mine in the Yukon Territory was a labor of love that started with his grandfather's teachings and was continued by his unwavering dedication. When the first golden specks were found on the ground, it was a victory that had no comparison. Parker's quest was not finished yet, and the path ahead was riddled with difficulties and obstacles. He never hesitated from his determination to succeed and found inspiration in the memory of his grandfather and the knowledge that he was following a proud family tradition. Parker Schnabel, a successful gold miner and a role model for many children worldwide, understands that making a profit and taking care of the environment go hand in hand. He is committed to safeguarding the territory and minimizing the negative effects of mining operations, demonstrating his character and principles. Responsible mining is not just a marketing slogan for Parker, it is a lifestyle. He realizes that mining can have a severe impact on the environment, from habitat destruction to water pollution. He has decided to do everything he can to minimize the operation's impact on the environment. Parker demonstrates this through the application of rigorous environmental rules at his mines, such as recovery efforts and water management strategies. Parker's environmental management is not limited to the fulfillment of environmental regulations. He is always willing to go the extra mile, looking for more environmentally friendly mining practices that put the long-term health of the land first. Through reforestation or wildlife conservation, Parker is always on the lookout for ways to repay the environment that supports him. Parker's support for responsible mining is not confined only to his own operations. He is now a vocal supporter of sustainability in the industry, using his influence to raise awareness about the significant role played by environmental conservation. Through public speaking, media appearances, and social media campaigning, Parker persuades other miners to adopt the same practices and join him in the fight to protect the environment. Parker's determination to face the challenges that come with responsible mining is what makes him most admirable. He never avoids hard conversations and tough decisions, considering them as opportunities for development and betterment. Through the recognition of the fundamental contradiction between mining and ecological conservation, Parker can come up with creative solutions that simultaneously address both issues. Parker's charitable activities in the Yukon Territory show how he is a kind man with a strong desire to make the world around him a better place. His generosity does not stop with the limits of his mining operations and leaves an indelible mark on all the people and places he cares about. Parker's generosity is not limited to just writing a check or attending a fundraising event. He is not just a resident, but a real stakeholder in the communities he belongs to. He also acknowledges the importance of building strong connections with community members, allowing him to hear their worries and work with them to solve pressing problems. Despite being a famous and wealthy man, Parker remains humble and approachable, never looking for acknowledgement or rewards for his good activities. He believes that community service is not a responsibility, but rather a privilege, acknowledging the great impact even the smallest acts of kindness can have on those in need, families, or individuals. Parker Schnabel, a gold mining industry star with a net worth of $15 million, is a key figure in the industry. His success can be attributed to his participation in the popular Discovery Channel show, Gold Rush, where he earns a substantial income from each episode. Parker's success is not just about the money, but also his unmatched ability and mastery as a gold miner. His fans have been glued to their screens for weeks, cheering him on unconditionally. In addition to his gold rush earnings, Parker has diversified his income through other ventures that include entrepreneurship. He has opened his own mining company and created a jewelry and clothing line, proving his ability to spot opportunities quickly. These enterprises define Parker's wealth and make him a force to be reckoned with in the business world. Despite his vast achievements and wealth, Parker remains down-to-earth and modest. He respects persistence, honesty, and determination above all else, and has never forgotten his origin as a young miner in Alaska. His genuineness and modesty have made him a favorite among fans and colleagues, and a beloved personality in the gold mining circles. Parker also earns a substantial income from his gold-digging business, being a claim owner in the Yukon Territory and a consistent gold extractor. He has launched several firms, adding to his total capital. With great wealth comes great accountability, and the public is curious about how Parker spends all this cash. Parker Schnabel is living a life that many people cannot imagine, and he is doing it all with passion, determination, and a soft heart. When it comes to the finer things in life, Parker knows how to enjoy them. He owns 2 properties, one in Haines, Alaska, and one in the Yukon Territory. His house in Haines is a spectacle with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and breathtaking views of nearby mountains and forests. Parker's real estate empire is not limited to Alaska, as he has acquired a vacation rental property in the Yukon Territory. This property targets a broad spectrum of guests, earning him a large income. Parker's real estate investments are based on a mix of market research, financial analysis, and intuition. He diversifies his wealth across different asset classes, such as real estate, stocks, and business ventures to minimize risks and maximize potential returns. Each property in his portfolio acts as a brick in his financial future, providing stability, growth, and possibilities of wealth creation. The most impressive thing about Parker's real estate empire is his ability to adjust to the changing market. Over time, he remains flexible and responsive, adapting his investment strategy to take advantage of new trends and possibilities. Parker Schnabel, a gold mining legend and author, is not only known for his role on Discovery Channel's Gold Rush, but also for his passion for cars. He owns a fleet of high-quality vehicles, including the Ford Raptor, a rugged off-road truck, and a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a luxury SUV. The Raptor is a head-turner with its bespoke design, glossy black with contrasting red highlights, and oversized tires, reflecting his character as brave, ambitious, and ready for the next adventure. Parker's Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon is renowned for its durability, performance, and luxurious interior, making it a symbol of his success and impeccable taste. The Jeep Wrangler, another popular off-road vehicle among outdoor enthusiasts and thrill-seekers, is the most popular off-road vehicle due to its rugged design, removable top, and legendary four-wheel drive capabilities. The Chevrolet Silverado, a versatile and capable vehicle, has been modified to suit Parker's specific needs, making it a reliable and dependable companion for everyday driving and off-road exploration. In addition to his practicality and performance, Parker's cars are an expression of his personality and interests. Every vehicle in his collection has a story behind it, some telling about his love for an off-road adventure or his taste for luxury and style. He is living the good life, with his real estate holdings and car collection being what they are. However, the real issue is what will happen to Parker after that. He has the energy and determination to achieve anything, and who knows what other victories he will achieve in the future. One thing is for sure, Parker Schnabel is living his dream and doing it in style. Parker Schnabel is also a great author, having written 2 books that provide insight into his exceptional life. His debut book, Golden Dreams, the memoir Chasing Golden, Finding My Fortune in the Yukon, provides readers with a fascinating insight into his incredible journey. With vivid storytelling and candid reflections, Parker leads readers on an unforgettable journey, recounting the hardships, victories, and valuable lessons that he learned during this period. From the very beginning of his gold mining career in Alaska, Parker encountered many hurdles on his way to success. As the grandson of famous gold miner John Schnabel, Parker spent his childhood in the mining culture and learned the craft from his early days. One of the main problems that Parker faced was to be recognized as a reputable and successful miner in his own right. With limited resources and experience, he ventured into the difficult business of renting a claim on Porcupine Creek and starting his own mining operation. With the growth of his mining operation, his reputation in the industry became more and more known. His talent for discovering gold in areas not noticed by others earned him the reputation and respect of his colleagues. During his process, Parker met many interesting people who gave him diverse ideas about the business. This voyage of self-discovery, growth, and change was a testament to his courage, stability, and unyielding determination. Parker Schnabel's two books, Golden Dreams and Audacious Gold, offer readers a unique perspective on the gold mining industry. In Golden Dreams, Parker shares his personal experiences and challenges readers to pursue their own goals, no matter how unattainable they may seem. His second book, Audacious Gold: How I Turned Passion into Profit, provides an exclusive look into the gold mining business, sharing the knowledge, strategies, and wisdom he has acquired in the industry. The main theme of Audacious Gold is Parker's profound knowledge of the complexities of the gold mining business. He covers the entire chain of events from prospecting and exploration to extraction and processing. The book emphasizes the importance of finding the right claims, as mining for gold is a risky business that depends on getting the best claims, which yield the most profits. Parker uses careful research, strategic planning, and a good eye for spotting opportunities to identify and purchase some of the best mining properties, laying the groundwork for his success in the industry. In Audacious Gold, Parker gives readers a step-by-step guide on the best ways to maximize the value of their claims, including assessments and evaluations, as well as the implementation of efficient mining practices. By improving operations and reducing costs, miners can increase their profitability and sustain the industry. His strong focus on teamwork and collaboration is emphasized in Audacious Gold, which has resulted in innovation, productivity, and success. The most precious part of this book is Parker's openness about the difficulties and barriers he has met in the industry, such as equipment malfunction, environmental issues, market volatility, and regulatory challenges. He furnishes readers with the nuts and bolts of dealing with adversity, adjusting to change, and succeeding in an industry constantly in transformation. What distinguishes Audacious Gold from other books in the same category is the author's unique viewpoint and his authentic voice. He narrates anecdotes from the field and offers tips on gold mining business management. Parker's writing is both informative and entertaining, making it a must-read for anyone interested in the gold mining business. Parker Schnabel is not only a bookworm, but also a global traveler, having traveled to places like Australia, New Zealand, and Guyana. His passion for discovering new cultures and appreciating the world's beauty knows no limits, and his travel experiences are often shared on social media. In addition to his gold coins, Parker has a collection of valuable jewelry made from gold and diamonds, as well as a hobby of gathering items used during the gold rush in the Yukon Territory. He has invested in several technology companies that are innovating new ways of gold exploration and extraction, resulting in significant returns. Despite his literary fame, worldwide travels, and investments, Parker Schnabel remains determined to reach the top of the world. His determination make him one hell of a person.